So today we're talking about accountancy costs and how to get the best value out of your accountants. Rule number one, be delighted with your accountant, nothing less than delighted. If you're not entirely delighted with your accountant, you should be looking elsewhere. There are some great accountants out there, and make sure you've got one of them. They're such an important part of your team. It's really important that they're giving you the best possible value. So 9 tips, kind of like a checklist. You will know some of these, but if you don't, there's kind of 1 or 2 good takeaways hopefully for you. Number 1, good bookkeeping. So are you paying your accountant like £50 plus per hour to do your tick and bash things that you could have previously outsourced? Or if you've got the skills and the training, even do them in-house. But there's nothing wrong with outsourcing. It's cheaper than getting your accountant to do it, almost certainly. There's good companies like Bookkeeping Pro or Alcor Global Solutions, and it will be probably half and maybe much less than half of what you would pay an accountant to do it. Number 2, benchmark. So you probably know 1 or 2 accountants apart from the one that you're using. And keep them keen. If they're at all interested in doing your accounts, then sort of keep them keen, make them feel they've got a good chance of doing it, maybe get them to quote for the work once a year. That keeps your incumbent accountant absolutely on their toes. And maybe they'll bring some opportunities to the table for you as well. Number 3, go for fixed fee. Always quote beforehand for your annual accounting fee. Make sure you have a fixed quote. Beware of overruns. Quite often accountants will, this has happened to me a couple of times, they quote you, they say £4,500 for something, comes in at £6,500 of their cost, and they look to split the difference. But if you let them politely know from the outset that what they quote you is a fixed fee, and unless they go off spec, because you require them to, then it should stick to that original fee that you've agreed. Okay, some other tips. Full audit. Have you got an audit exemption? You know that thing, the 3 criteria of an SME, 3.26 million asset value or 6.5 million turnover or more than 50 employees. You only have to do a full audit if you fulfill 2 of those items. If not, you get an audit exemption. You don't have to go for the full big audit. Okay, are your accountants a good fit for you? Do you find that they've got the right chemistry? Do they have the right experience in your sector? Do they work with companies of the same size as yours? These are all really important items in choosing the right accountant. Number 6, are they introducers? A good accountant should really always be putting you in front of people, looking for opportunities on your behalf, sales opportunities, almost like an extra salesperson. Also retweeting what you put on Twitter if you're into Twitter. That's always handy if they do that for you. Also, are they really good advisors? So you're not expected to know everything there is to know about R&D tax credits and grants for training. So they should know that, and they should hopefully be putting that sort of stuff in front of you. A really good accountant could pay their way just in these 2 things alone. So look out for that. Number 8, preparation. So when you do your end of year accounts, get everything really ship-shape, good housekeeping, put it together nicely so they don't have to come looking for extra things. They'll appreciate that. It could even reduce your fee for the following year if they come in under budget. And if you're going to have meetings with them, I'm always like having meetings on the phone rather than having them come to your office or you go to their office. There's always extra expense in doing that. If there's 3 people needing to join the meeting from different locations, there's nothing wrong with using Skype. It's just an easy bit of technology, and it can overcome a 2 or 3 hour interruption in your day if you can do that all together at once on Skype. And my last point is there's a new industry emerging with cloud-based accounting packages, really excellent packages like Xero or Cashflow. I use one for one of my businesses. They can get them for free actually, but sometimes they're about £20 a month. I think I pay £18 plus VAT per month for my one. And it's very instinctive, intuitive, easy to use. But preferably if you've got less than £1 million turnover. I think that's my feeling is that's where they're aimed at. But there's also a breed of accountants emerging who will hold your hand through the year. So instead of paying £20, you can actually pay more like £70 or maybe £100. and they will hold your hand throughout the year for you and make sure you keep everything up to date, make sure you keep everything posted nicely and reconciled. And then at the end of year, when you do your accounts, they actually won't charge any extra. So £100 a month, imagine that. So that's £1,200 for the year. And there's no extra fee for your end of year accounts. So there's in the article you'll see a couple of companies I recommend who can do this. You don't get that £1,000 sting in the tail at the end of the year for your end of year accounts, and you get up to date, accurate management reports throughout the year, which frankly is quite unusual for a company under £1 million turnover. So there we are, my 9 points. Thank you.